I just sold all of my crypto to buy more precious metals, and I'll tell you why. My name is Sam Laurie. I'm the founder and owner of Liberty Bullion. We help Australians invest in the precious metals, and what a time to be alive, guys. Look, everybody, I'm just stating that this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing with my own personal finances here, with my own money, my own hard-earned money. So as I mentioned earlier, I've just sold all of my crypto to buy more precious metals. Why? Well, I expect gold and silver to outperform Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market for the next year or so. And there's 4 reasons as to why. Number 1, if you look at the Bitcoin to gold chart, i.e. how many ounces of gold it takes to buy 1 Bitcoin, we're in a clear breakdown. The price of Bitcoin is dropping massively against the price of gold, and we expect that trend to continue. Reason number 2, we expect the 4-year Bitcoin cycle peak is in. October 6th, when Bitcoin hit $126,000 per coin, that was the peak of this 4-year Bitcoin cycle. If you look at it on the long-term charts, Bitcoin in US dollars, there is big negative divergence on the long-term time frames, the monthly chart, the weekly charts. Reason number 3, we're at the end of the 4-year bull market cycle that Bitcoin has. So Bitcoin typically has 1 year of down and 3 years of up. So what did we see? 2022 was down. 2023 was up. 2024 was up. 2025 is up. 2026, if history repeats, it's going to be down. If you use the same timing as previous cycles, the bull market top is in. Reason number 4 is the correlation that Bitcoin has to the tech stocks in the US. So if you look at the Nasdaq, which is the barometer for US tech stocks, the index for US tech stocks, it looks like it may have topped out. If you look at the companies that make up the Nasdaq, the AI boom, that sort of thing, there's big bets being placed out there by people like Michael Burry that the run is over in US tech stocks. With Michael Burry placing a huge bet against the AI sector, if he's right, which he was in 2008, you can expect the Nasdaq to drop remarkably here, and Bitcoin has a big correlation, a strong correlation to US tech stocks. So if that correlation holds and US tech stocks take a dive like we think they will, then Bitcoin should go with it. So for those 4 reasons, today I sold all of my crypto and I've put it into the precious metals. And that's not to say that I'll never touch Bitcoin again. I actually want to come in at the end of this bear market and buy up a lot of Bitcoin in a big way. Let's take a bit of a deeper dive through the Bitcoin to gold price. Now, if you look at the chart here, you can see that Bitcoin essentially hasn't made any real new all-time highs against gold since 2021. So you can see that the Bitcoin price priced in gold looks like it hit a top in 2021, it hit another top, it backed off a bit during that bear market, it had another run up, it went to that same level, topped out, and then now, if you look at that chart, it looks like it is broken down from that ascending trend line. And keep in mind, guys, this is a monthly chart. This is a big long-term chart. So when you see a big trend line like that broken to the downside, that tells you that there's trouble coming. Either Bitcoin will drop or gold will pump or both. And what you can do is at the bottom of the bear market for Bitcoin, you can sell your precious metals back to us at Liberty Bullion and use those funds to hop back into the Bitcoin market and buy at a cheaper price. So not only in that scenario can you potentially profit from the price of gold going up, you can also save yourself from the price of Bitcoin going down. If you look at the Bitcoin price, priced in gold, Bitcoin has already had a 40% drop since August. That is when the Bitcoin to gold chart topped out. So if you think about it like that, we're already been in a 4-month bear market in Bitcoin priced in gold. And you can see that on the charts. There's 4 red candles there. This isn't the beginning of the move. The move has been confirmed. That is why I'm selling my crypto for bullion. So the number 2 reason why I'm selling my crypto for precious metals is the massive negative divergences that we're seeing on the Bitcoin to US dollar chart on longer term time frames. The chart that we've got in front of us here is the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the weekly. Now, what you can see is the RSI is dropping. There's a negative trend line there. There's a negative trend line on the MACD down at the bottom. These are indicators as to the momentum in the asset. So you can see that there's falling bullish momentum in the MACD and the RSI, whereas price has been going up. That is called a negative divergence. When indicators are bearish but price is bullish, that's divergence, and the indicators are telling you that it's a bearish divergence. What do you do when you see a bearish divergence? You sell. That is why looking at Bitcoin's negative divergence here, the bearish divergence on the weekly, that is very bearish. And what you can see as well is Bitcoin has also broken to the downside out of that chart pattern that it's been trading in since 2021 or 2023, depending how you look at it. So that trend line there going back to the beginning of 2023, touched it again at the end of 2023 and has now broken through it as of the week that we've just had. So we've seen massive negative bearish divergence on the weekly RSI and the weekly MACD whilst the Bitcoin price has been going up. That tells you that the rally is running out of steam even as the price goes to the upside. And now over the last few weeks, the price has followed these indicators to the downside. That tells us that the top is likely in, that long-term divergence is pointing bearish. We've just seen it break to the downside out of this big long-term weekly pattern. All of this tells you that the Bitcoin US dollar price is likely to drop a lot further from here. Point 3 as to why we're selling our crypto and buying precious metals is the timing in this cycle. In crypto bull markets, there is a 4-year cycle. 3 years of up, 1 year of down. If you look at the last cycle, the cycle lasted for 35 months. The bull cycle, the 3-year bull cycle, lasted for 35 months. Keep in mind that 3 years is 36 months, so just under 3 years. If you look at from the bottom in 2023 through to the top that we had at 126K last month, that is, you guessed it, 35 months. Using previous cycles and how long they lasted in terms of time, the timing for this cycle tells us that the top's in. Point number 4 as to why I'm selling my crypto to buy precious metals is the stock market. If you look at crypto and particularly Bitcoin, it has a very strong correlation to the Nasdaq. That's the US tech stocks. You look at the Nasdaq at the moment. We believe that the top very well could be in for the Nasdaq. Why do we say that? Well, there's been some prominent bets out there by, say, Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short, the guy who bet on the 2008 housing crisis very successfully. He has placed a huge bet over the last week or so, betting against the US tech stocks, specifically AI, some of which have hugely stretched valuations, to put it lightly. Michael Burry is bearish on the Nasdaq, he's bearish on AI, he's bearish on tech stocks. We are the same. We think Michael Burry is very smart. We think that these companies are trading at insane valuations. And there are rumors out there that these companies may be cooking their books by moving money between them and placing orders with each other and doing all sorts of shady business in the background to help pump their sales numbers, which therefore helps pump their share prices as investors see them doing really well from their sales. We expect a correction in the Nasdaq. We expect it to move downwards from here. And given that Bitcoin has such a strong correlation to the Nasdaq, we expect the Nasdaq to drop. Therefore, we also expect Bitcoin to drop with it. Look, everybody, I just wanted to make it absolutely clear that none of what I'm telling you today is financial advice. All I am telling you is what I'm doing with my own money, with my own personal finances. I've had a lot of people ask me over the last few years to make a video like this when I do sell, just letting people know that I've sold. You're welcome to do whatever you'd like with that information. You can make a comment telling me that I'm an idiot. You can sell all your crypto as well. It's completely up to you. You're a free person in a free country. All I'm doing today is giving you an update on what I'm doing with my own money.